Okay, rip and read. So what we're going to do is just a few headlines from stories that we've been covering, or maybe you've been covering. First of all, in the case out of Portugal, Madeleine McCann, you may remember this is a little girl missing 18 years now, never found. Nobody's ever been arrested, charged, but there is a suspect. Anyway, when I was over there recently, just within a day or so of my leaving, they initiated another search in Portugal, Praia da Luz, the little town where she disappeared. I'm here to report, unfortunately, they found nothing. They looked in some abandoned buildings. They did some ground radar type searches, but nothing. Nothing new. Case is ongoing and open. The family, of course, they're from the UK, continuing to hold out hopes that someday somebody will actually, pay for this crime. But that hasn't changed. That's where they are. Okay.
The missing bodies cases are terrible, and the missing bodies of children, I can't even imagine, as those two poor parents. I can't imagine.
Yeah, 18 years ago.
Yeah. Boy. But we've been covering it. You've been covering it. You're on top of it. We've been dealing with it. You've been to Portugal twice now on this case, and we will keep covering this case.
Yep, we will. So you mentioned the Kohlberger sentencing, which is coming up Wednesday. A couple of developments in that, which I think are interesting. One is that, remember, Judge Hippler is involved in this now, and he's been asked, because the case is kind of over. I guess technically when sentencing takes place, that's when the conviction kicks in. But he's been asked to, lift the gag order, which he did. But he said that he's going to be trickling out the documents. It's not going to be this wholesale dump. It's going to be in reverse order from when he received them. Again, he was the new judge when the case was moved from Latah to Ada County. So that's going to trickle out. But here's the thing that I think is going to be most interesting and people are going to talk about. You'll recall in his plea, that day that all of that unfolded, one of the provisions of the plea was he would be waiving his right to appeal. Remember that?
Right, I remember that.
Not so.
Oh.
Not so.
Whoa.
Technically he has, but I'm sure you're familiar with a little case called Garza versus Idaho, a little Supreme Court case. In that case, the court ruled that even if a defendant waives the right to appeal, he or she does not waive the right to appeal. And it has to do with Sixth Amendment grounds, which are generally ineffective assistance of counsel, right? So the courts have said, and this is a Supreme Court decision, that that is a standalone protection for a defendant. So even if the defendant waives, they don't waive. And the reason for it makes perfect sense. If, as part of the plea deal, ineffective assistance of counsel led you to waive, then you can't waive. So I think people are going to be pissed off about that, because certainly that's one of the deals that they want to see not unfold, no appeals.
Right.
But technically, and Hippler, the judge said, he's the one who mentioned it. He said, by the way, there's this Garza case. He really hasn't waived that right to appeal. So those are the new headlines for today. But of course, Wednesday's a big day. Victim impact statements will take place that morning. We'll be on at 11 Eastern Daylight Time. We'll see how that unfolds through the course of the morning and afternoon. I think you said, what was the info you had about
on the Gonzalez family? The sister is going to be giving the victim impact statement. I imagine this is going to be a day full of tears. There's going to be some retribution attacks by the Gonzalez family, who is not happy about this. There's some people who have demanded, including President Trump got involved in this, that he wants Kohlberg to say why he did this. Other people are saying that it's important for them that Hitler should force Kohlberger to say the names of the victims. So we have all this swirling around. We've got the President of the United States involved. We have one of the families who are upset. We have three of the families who want to get this over. We now learn that even though you get it over, you don't really get it over, because there can be a way to appeal. And we're going to have just an emotional day anyhow. And when those documents start getting released, I don't know if they're going to release everything. I think there's going to be some objection to releasing the autopsy reports of these kids who obviously were slaughtered. I think that this is going to go on for a long time.
Yeah. So Wednesday, a big day in that, and then the rest of this will unfold in the days and weeks following.
Right.
So that's our rip and read for the day. Now let's move into the reason.
Did you tell people that's our new opening? Rip and read.
Yeah, rip and read. And that's for those who may not. Back in the good old days. Back in the good old days, Sonny, when I was in radio, they would have AP and UPI teletype, right? And it would be like That sound you may have heard in here. I'll run it again so you can. So that's if you're in a newsroom, that was just like white noise. You heard it all day, every day. Now, of course, it doesn't exist anymore, which is kind of
all day, right? Except that you forgot one rip and read.
Oh, what was that? I did. What was it? What I forgot?
Karen Reed on the
Karen Rip and Read.
Karen Rip and Read. All right. I mean, actually, you didn't really forget it. I mean, it was.
I did forget it. Is it on your list? I forgot.
It's on my list. And the Karen Rip and Read is that Karen Reed's had a motion that she filed on July 15th, actually. Today is July 21st, and it was already granted. And the motion was to amend the terms and conditions of her probation to remove the travel restrictions. In other words, she doesn't need to have the 14-day advance notice to leave the state. It's already been approved by the head of probation. She can go outside of jurisdiction anytime she wants. All right, because she had to complete the attendance, and she has been in complete compliance with the terms and conditions of her probation, including reporting. And remember, our expert, Michael DeSignore from Massachusetts, said this is exactly what was going to happen, that she'll be doing phone reporting anyhow. All she has to do is take that course that she needs to take, what is called the Operating Under the Influence Adult Education Program in the county. Okay, and her probation was already transferred to Bristol Superior Court from Norfolk already. So that is also happening, and I assume that these terms and conditions are going to end pretty soon anyhow, as soon as she completes a course that she won't even be required to report.
Yeah. And again, as it should be for the nature of the charges she was convicted of, which was DUI, which is apparently a hobby of folks in Norfolk County, including the cops.